Hari Om. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Holistic Health with Dr. Dev. And today, in this live stream on Sunday, I am immensely pleased to be able to organize this extremely important and practically very useful live stream for all of us regarding our holistic health. So, as you might have already seen from the title and from the thumbnail and the description of this live stream, this particular session is going to be about one of the tools that is most easily and readily available to each and every single human being, irrespective of our age, geographical region, our caste, our religion, our belief systems, and whatnot, even our physical condition, because in most of the cases, this particular tool is accessible to all of us. And what is that tool? Can anybody tell me in the chat, in the comment section, in the chat, what is this tool that is most easily accessible but is of immense benefit to our holistic health and healing? Yes, you guessed it right. That tool is our breathing. That tool is our breathing. So breathing is something that is accessible to each one of us, right? So in yoga, in the Ashtanga yoga, breathing is something that falls as one of the integral and inevitable component of what constitutes of Ashtanga yoga. Now it is very subtle, because breathing can become very subtle, which is why it is missed by most of us. Most of the times we think, we take it for granted, our breathing. So in Ashtanga yoga, if you think about the limbs, the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga, what are they? Let's review. And if you know the Ashtanga yoga limbs, you can also type in the chat what are the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. Let's review it together. First, yama, the social discipline, how the practitioner, how the yogi relates to others around that unity, around that entity. That's yama, how we discipline ourselves in terms of relating to others around us in the society. The second limb is niyama. Niyama means self-discipline. Self-discipline means how we conduct ourselves, right? Yama, niyama. Then the third limb is asana. Asana is our posture. And lo and behold, in this 21st century, the asana or the yoga posture has become of immense popularity for some reasons or the other. I say that the reason is because asana became so popular is because it's a physical practice. It corresponds first with our grossest of the 5 sheaths of existence. What is that? Our body, the Annamaya Kosha. Because asana relates to our gross body, that's why it is easily perceivable that somebody is doing something and they are having an effect. So the cause and effect is very clear to the analytical mind of analytical people. So that's why asana became so popular, especially in the West, and even more so, it is becoming more and more popular in India also. Unfortunately, the other subtler aspects of yoga, it is kind of becoming less popular, unless, of course, there are conscious group of people who are practicing the authentic yoga. But unfortunately, asana is gaining so much hype that the other subtler aspects are getting some less popularity, right? Because of our analytical mind. The other practices are subtle. We cannot see the cause and effect so much so as in asana. In the movement, the body is moving, we are sweating, oh, of course, so that's why we are gaining benefits and things like that. But then there are subtler practices, like the fourth limb of yoga is what is the topic of our live session today. What is that? Pranayama. Can everybody try pronouncing this with me? Pranayama. Let's pronounce it together first. Pranayama. It's a combination of two Sanskrit words. Prana, our life force, our breath, loosely translating to the universal life force, our breath, our chi. Ayama. Ayama means expansion, stretch, expansion. Pranayama. So playing with our breath. Yeah, playing with our breath, expanding it, contracting it, fastening it, holding it, all of that. We will discuss all in detail, no worries, in this session. Then comes the fifth limb, Yama Niyama Asana Pranayama Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses from the sensory objects. Okay, Pratyahara. Then comes Dharana, sixth, seventh, and eighth limbs of Ashtanga Yoga are where it gets subtler and subtler, because these are the effects of our practice of the first five limbs. Sixth, seventh, and eighth are called Antaranga Sadhana. It happens within us, not so much so that you can see outside. And the first five limbs are called Bahiranga Sadhana. So what are the sixth, seventh, and eighth? Dharana, one-pointed focus. Dhyana means meditation. Well, when I say meditation, please don't take the word meditation as we use in our lay terms or day-to-day conversations like that, because there are formal definition of meditation as described in the root text of yoga in Patanjali's Yogasutras, and in fact on the other root text of yoga, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, you can see a whole chapter on meditation, which is the Dhyana Yoga, or a yoga of meditation. So the seventh limb is the meditation or Dhyana, and the last limb, the eighth limb of yoga, is Samadhi, super conscious state, Samadhi. So having said that, I want to say in this session, we are gonna talk about, and not only talk about it, we are gonna learn straight from the root text of yoga about one of the eight limbs of yoga, which is the fourth limb of yoga, and that is pranayama. And if you are joining in, tuning in now, please make sure that you have a notebook that you can take some notes during the session, whatever you feel like taking notes of. Please take a notebook and a writing tool like a pen or a pencil, something. I would say, see if you can avoid typing on the phone, because we are trying to, although this is happening online on a device, but see if you have the other devices off, so you can take a notebook and a pen, and then you get ready. Keep some water with you. And what will be the agenda for our session today? The agenda is very simple and straightforward. First, we will talk about some of the sutras that correspond to the fourth limb of yoga, namely pranayama. Once we have talked about these limbs, then we move on straight to practice. Now, with those who I work with one-on-one training, they know that I give so much stress, so much importance on this one practice, that I use it a lot in my sessions of this tool of pranayama. So I thought, why not I share with our community, with all of you, something that can be used on a more generic basis, in the sense, which can be used irrespective of, like I said at the beginning, irrespective of people's geographical region, irrespective of people's sexual orientation, irrespective of people's age, physical condition, unless they are really like in a coma or things like that. Everybody, this is something that is accessible to everyone, irrespective of people's beliefs or whatever. Because see, if a human being is alive, that means, how do you know we are alive? How, if you ask me, Dr. Deb, how do you know that you are alive? What shall I do? I will bring my hand below my nose and I will see if I am breathing, right? We will check if we are breathing. If our breathing is on, that means we are alive. So, breathing is something which is so basic and fundamental, yet it is so underrated. That's why I wanted to hold this particular session where we have access to one tool that we can use in our daily life to really, when I say it in the transformation, one breathing that can transform your life, I really meant it. Because whatever practice, whatever sadhana you might be doing, in whichever path, you might be noticing that your master is giving you some sort of, whether it's a specific mudra, a specific kriya, specific kriya, in whichever path you are practicing, whether it's Shambhavi, whether it's Shudarshan kriya, or any kriya which is a compact set of yogic practices, which includes some asana, some breathing, some mantra, some bandhas, all that, some meditation, of course. In all of that, breathing must be a component. Breathing must be a component. So, this particular practice that I will be sharing with you all can also be practiced separately as a standalone practice. Well, I will mention what exactly, which practice we are going to be doing today. But for now, let's get started with the discussion of the yoga philosophy part regarding the pranayama. And as you know, when we begin any Vedic discussion, any holistic discussion that corresponds to our scriptures, we start with some invocation. And in this case, also, we will start with a small Ganesha mantra and we get started. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Saraswati mantra, because Saraswati is the goddess of learning, the Vedic goddess of learning. So let's do a Saraswati chant. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Om. So we chanted Vedic deities of Ganapati and Saraswati. Now let's start this session also by invocation of the father of yoga, none other than Maharshi Patanjali, because we will be discussing a text which comes straight from Maharshi Patanjali. So let's start with this invocation of Maharshi Patanjali. Now, if you want to learn this invocation, I have a video in somewhere in the iCard or in the description. I will post this link to the video where I have taught you the invocation of Maharshi Patanjali. Okay? Yogena chittasya padena vacham Malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankhachakrasidharinam sahasrashirasam shvetam pranamami Patanjalim. Om. So that was invocation to Lord Patanjali, or Bhagavan Patanjali's invocation chant, to invoke the right kind of energy and intention so we can grasp the knowledge that is being shared with us from time immemorial. As you know, Yogasutras of Patanjali, several millennia old ancient text, which is even more so relevant at this point of time in today's age, right? So just setting our right kind of intention helps to absorb the knowledge that we are going to learn. Having said that, let's move on to the next part of our session, which is learning about the sutras that talk about pranayama directly. So, as you know, Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, it has 4 segments or pada. Pada means leg or quarter. So 4 quarters make up one whole text. What are those 4 quarters? First is Samadhi Pada. Second is Sadhana Pada. Third is Vibhuti Pada. And fourth is Kaivalya Pada. So Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada, Vibhuti Pada, and Kaivalya Pada. Among these 4 segments, the second segment or the Sadhana Pada has 55 sutras, which essentially talks about the practice aspect of yoga. Practice and practical in the sense ki whatever corresponds to our doing, our practicing, and what they mean, that aspect of yoga is being dealt with in the second leg or second pada, Sadhana Pada. Now, in this Sadhana Pada, among the 55 sutras, Maharshi Patanjali talks about pranayama in 5 sutras: 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. Okay, so the last two of these 5 sutras talks about what happens when we master the art of breathing or pranayama. That is 52 and 53. Sutra number 52 and 53 talks about what happens when we master the art of pranayama. The first 3 talks about the definition of pranayama and the different variations of it. Okay, so let's get started. Sutra number, second chapter, Sadhana Pada, Sutra number 49 goes like this. Tasmin sati श्वास प्रश्वासयोर गति विच्छेदः प्राणायामः. तस्मिन् सति श्वास प्रश्वासयोर गति विच्छेदः प्राणायामः. So Maharshi Patanjali introduces and defines pranayama. Tasmin sati is having established in that. What is in that? In the asana. Mastering asana. So asana was talked about before this pranayama sutras. So tasmin sati shwasa prashwasayor gati vichchedah pranayama. Once established in asana, having been established in asana, expansion of the inhalation and exhalation is what is known as pranayama, right? Playing with the swasa and prashwasa is what is known as pranayama. Shwasa prashwasa is in breath and the out breath. Okay, now in the next sutra, this was 49th, in the 50th sutra, he talks about what are the different parameters that can vary the nature of the pranayama. So he says, Bahyabhyantara stambha vrittir deshakala sankhyabihi. You are getting it? Bahyabhyantara stambha vrittir deshakala sankhyabihi paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. So I will explain in English in a bit, but let me again say the Sanskrit in the sutra, because I want to focus on the Sanskrit also, is because see, these root texts are written in Sanskrit, and most often than not in different schools, mainly in the schools outside of India, the Sanskrit part might be overlooked, and it's a matter of great shame because of the lack of knowledge about this subject. We don't study the actual sutras which talk about this, but rather study the translations. So I thought, why don't we actually discuss like this in a public forum about this sutra? So the more we discuss about it, the more we bring it to awareness, the more they are revived and we are inspired to talk about those. Okay. So sutra number, we talked about sutra number 50. 50 is Bahyabhyantara stambha vrittir deshakala sankhyabihi paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. There are three things that can happen that can make a pranayama different than the other is desha, kala and sankhya. Desha means place. Which place of the body we are focusing our breath, right? It can be our lower part of the lungs, lower abdomen. It can be upper abdomen, lower part of the lungs, middle part of the lungs, upper part of the chest, in between our eyebrows. So where we are focusing our intention, our prana, while we are in the act of this pranayama. Kala means how long are we continuing our in breath and out breath, and if there is holding of the retention of the breath also, if available, if retention of the breath is also there, then how long are we holding the breath, right? So if we closely observe these things, these three parameters, which part of the body we are focusing, the desha, kala means how long we are holding, how long we are performing our in breath, out breath, and sankhya means counts, how many repetitions are we doing for each one of these, right? The more we focus on these things, that being closely observing these things can make the pranayama either dirgha, elongated, or sukshma, very subtle, nobody actually can notice. So bahyabhyantara stambha vritti, the first three kind is bahya, of the out breath, desha, kala and sankhya, the place, the amount of time and the repetition of the out breath. Abhyantara means of the internal breath, in breath, and stambha vritti means holding of the breath. So three kinds, right? The three aspects of this breathing. So what are the three aspects? The three aspects are the in breath. In Sanskrit, let me also say, when we feel the breath in our lungs, we call it puraka. Puraka literally means one that fills. Then holding or retention of the breath is kumbhaka. And then excreting or exhaling out the breath is rechaka, because it is a type of excretion. We are releasing toxins out of the body through our carbon dioxide, through our out breath. So it's rechaka. Now in the second component, kumbhaka, when we hold the breath, it can be of two kinds of holding the breath. One is you are holding the breath after the in breath, that is abhyantara kumbhaka, and one is you are holding the breath after you have exhaled, that is bahya kumbhaka. So abhyantara kumbhaka and the bahya kumbhaka, two kinds of retention of breath. Okay, just keep in mind. So and these breaths depend on the one breath to the other, one parameter to the other varies depending on which part of the body we are focusing our prana, our intentions during the breathing, how long we are taking the in breath and the out breath, and sankhya, how many counts of repetition we are doing. Then he goes on, 49, 50, 51 is bahyabhyantara vishayakshepi chaturtha. There is a fourth kind of pranayama. that surpasses the internal and the external subject matters, that surpasses the internal and the external attention. So, if you think about this in another explanation, it can be there is a fourth kind of pranayama, which of course it's fourth kind because it is more subtle, it's subtler. And the fourth kind of pranayama says it surpasses the bahya abhyantara, the out breath and the in breath, it surpasses that. Means there is only retention, kevala kumbhaka, kevala kumbhaka, only retention. And that is not something that you can practice. It is something that happens to you naturally over the time by practice. That you look at something external, or even in your mind you focus something on your internal vishaya, and automatically your inhalation and exhalation stops, your breath is completely retained. That is the kumbhaka. So kevala kumbhaka means only holding of the breath. Very, very sophisticated, and it only happens to very advanced yogis. Okay, so we talked about the 3 sutras, which are the 4 different kinds of pranayama, and some parameters by which the one pranayama differs from the other. So 49, 50, 51. 52 says tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. What happens once we have practiced these breathings? What happens then? Not that we are practicing this pranayama because it has certain benefits and we want to reap certain benefits and things like that, but it's good to know, because once we start seeing the manifestations of the effects of these practices, so that we don't get scared. The 3rd chapter, Vibhuti Pada, is all about the different occult manifestations that happen once a yogi is practicing the yoga tools very sincerely. So I want to discuss this 52nd and 53rd sutra to make sure we understand that these are the natural outcome of our sincere practice of pranayama. So what is 52nd sutra? Tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. Tataha means after that, consequently, then. Kshiyate means weakens, diminishes. What diminishes? The avaranam, the veil, the cover that covers prakasha, our internal inner light. The internal light, light of wisdom, light of the true knowledge, right? Our source of prajna. Prajna means special knowledge. Pra is special, jna is to know. So our light of prakasha means light. Our light of the right kind of knowledge, special knowledge, whatever covers it, veils it, is the ignorance. Then the ignorance starts dissipating. That means we start getting the wisdom and knowledge of our true self when we start mastering the breath. Tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam. Tataha kshiyate prakashavaranam means then consequently our covering that covers our inner light starts to weaken, start to dissipate. And then the 53rd, 49, 50, 51, 52, then the 53rd sutra talks about dharanasu cha yogyata manasaha. Dharanasu cha yogyata manasaha. The mind also gets fit. The mind also gets fit for one pointed focus or dharana. So we talked about 49, 50, 51, 52 and 53rd. So 53rd sutra, let me say it again. Dharanasu cha yogyata manasaha. Once we start mastering our breath, our mind gets fit for the subtler limbs. As I said, dharana is the 6th limb. So it gets fit for one pointed focus. So breathing is something that you can directly see mentioned in this ancient root texts, how it has effect on our one pointed focus itself, our dharana, our ability to fix our mind into one subject, into one matter of our focus. Mhm. So then in the last two sutras of this chapter, Sadhana Pada 54 and 55, Maharshi Patanjali talks about pratyahara, which is not the topic of our discussion today. So you saw the discussion. You can write down in your notebook that if you want to refer for your own learning, for your own study, or for your sharing, for your research or something, Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, chapter 2, Sadhana Pada, sutra number 49 to 53. The 5 sutras are on pranayama, or playing with the in-breath, out-breath, and holding of the breath. Playing in the sense means knowledgeable playing, of course. Expanding, focusing on different parts of the body, making it faster, making it slower, repetition, doing the repetitions many times, less number of times, like that. We play with the in-breath and the out-breath and the retention of the breath. That's how, with practice, we gain mastery over the breath. That's when the veil of ignorance dissipates and we start gaining the wisdom of the light of our true self. Okay, and our mind becomes fit for concentration. Is it clear? If you are listening to this, and if until this half an hour whatever I discussed, if it is clear, please type in the chat yes or prana. So we just completed discussing the theory aspect of it about pranayama in regards to Maharshi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Now it's the practical aspect of our session where we actually practice a pranayama. So what pranayama do you think I am gonna share with you that can be applicable on a generic basis, irrespective of people's age status, marital status, geographical status, physical status, stature status, based on anything, caste, color, creed, that can be applicable in physical condition status until they are like in a very critical last stage, something like that. Can anybody type? So that is Anulom-Viloma Pranayama. Anuloma-Viloma Pranayama, or alternate nostril breathing pranayama. This is a pranayama that you can take up, you can start your journey with regarding the practice of pranayama. Because as you see, Maharshi Patanjali actually did not talk about how to practice specific pranayamas. That comes in other texts. But that is why there are other texts. Our other rishis, they have shared their wisdom about how to exactly do it. So alternate nostril breathing, or Anuloma-Viloma Pranayama. First, I will talk about the mudra, the posture of it, and then I will talk about the exact practice in a guided way. Are you ready for the practice together? Okay, so first is the posture. Now, how shall we sit? See, I am sitting on a chair right now, but my feet are planted flat on the mat, on the ground. If you are sitting on a chair, you can plant your feet flat on the ground and your knees are 90 degrees with the ground. If you are sitting on the floor, that is great. You can put a cushion or a bolster underneath your sit bones, underneath your butt cheeks, so that your butt is raised up, higher up, and your spine is comfortably vertical. Tuck your chin slightly towards the chest, so your back of the neck is elongated. Okay. In general, if you are sitting on the floor for pranayama, these are instructions which you can apply for other pranayamas as well. Now, for your legs, you can either keep the legs in sukhasana or easy pose, just for sitting cross-legged. You can sit in Ardha Siddhasana, half accomplished pose. You can sit in full Siddhasana. You can sit in Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, half lotus pose, or the full lotus pose. Whatever got you. Whatever got you. You can sit in Bhadrasana too, sitting on your heels, folding your knees and sitting on your heels. That's also fine. But make sure in whichever posture you are sitting, you are able to hold that posture for a specific amount of time. How long? Depends on your time you have, but usually say 10 to 15 minutes is a good amount of time for practicing in one session, in one sitting. So once you have made your posture very steady, then comes your mudra or your hand gesture, how it shall be. Now, regarding the hand gesture for the Anulom-Viloma also, there are different possibilities. One is you can hold these two peace fingers in the center of your eyebrow, in the center of your forehead, sorry, like this. And you can use your thumb and your ring finger, this one, to close the nostrils like this. You can see it? Can you see it? So these two peace fingers in the center of your forehead, and you can use this thumb and this ring finger to open and close the nostrils. I'm basically gently pressing on the beside the nasal septum, and the nostril can be blocked. You don't have to press too hard. That's number one. Number two is you can do the Nasika Mudra, the Vishnu Mudra, right? The Vishnu Mudra, and then you can use like this just to close, maneuver your nostrils like this, opening and closing. Right now I am just teaching you how to use your hand gesture or mudra. And the other version is you can have your palms, fingers straight like this, and you can keep it in front of your face, and you can use your thumb and the ring finger to open and close the nostrils, and the other three fingers are straight. They are not touching. It's like straight, right? Sukha Kriya Mudra. So three different possibilities for your hand gestures. Just to review, the first one is two peace fingers on the center of your forehead, then the thumb and the ring finger is maneuvering the nostrils, which is number one, like this. It is closing and opening the nostrils. Number two was you do a Vishnu Mudra, and then you are opening and closing the nostrils like this, right? And number three was the the three peace fingers are straight in front of your face, and then you are using the thumb and the little finger to open and close. So basically it's like an inch in front of you. The hand is like an inch in front of your face, and you are using this little finger and your thumb to open and close. Now how the breathing shall be. So alternate nostril breathing, as the name suggests, we will be inhaling and exhaling alternatively through our right and the left nostrils. So first, keep in mind we start the breathing through our inhaling through the left nostrils, and we end the cycle by exhaling through the left nostril. This will be one cycle, and the breathing will go like an inverted U. Inverted U. How? Look at this. You first close the right nostril, inhale through the left, right? Close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Keep the left nostril closed, inhale through the right, close the right nostril, exhale through the left. Am I making sense? Is it clear? So closing the right nostril first, first inhaling through the left, closing the left nostril. Suppose I am using this mudra, closing the left nostril, opening the right, exhaling. Keeping the left nostril closed, you inhale through the right again, close the right nostril, open the left, you exhale through the left. So inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. So the nostrils change only after inhalations. The nostrils change only after inhalations, and the exhalation and inhalation are from the same nostril. Okay, keep this in mind. So inverted U breathing, we always start our practice, our cycles from the left nostril, and we finish it by exhaling through the left nostril. Is it clear? There is only inhalation and exhalation involved. Puraka and Rechaka, the two components that we just discussed. So we are not talking about Kumbhaka or retention of the breath at this point of time in this practice. In terms of counts, you can take 1:2, meaning whatever counts you inhale for. Suppose I inhale through the left nostril, say 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left nostril, exhale, double the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through the right nostril, 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right nostril, exhale through the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is it clear? The inhalation and the exhalations, the ratios should be 1:2. Why so? Because usually we have a tendency to exhale quicker than our inhalations. We have, in general, when we are living our lives unconsciously, just like we are letting our life be pass by without consciousness, then our exhalations are quicker than our inhalations. So during this conscious breathing practice or pranayama, we are making sure we are deliberately choosing to elongate our exhalations. So inhalation is, if it is 1 count, then the exhalations will be 2 count, like double the count. Okay, so the thing is, how long to practice? In one sitting, like I said, you can practice from 10 to 15 minutes. You can start with 10 minutes, even 5 to 10 minutes to start with if you are just a beginner. If you have been practicing it, of course, you can practice 10, 15, 20 minutes. Now to start with, 4 counts and 8 counts is a good starting point of the counts. Like remember the Sankhya. In that case, it's not the Sankhya. Sankhya is the repetition. I'm coming to the repetition. This is the Kala, how long we are doing the inhalation, how long we are doing the exhalation. So 4 counts inhalation, 8 count exhalations are a good start. Later on, in the same sitting, if you are practicing for 10 minutes, the first 5 minutes can be practiced with the counts of 4 inhalation, 4 count inhalation, and 8 count exhalation. But later on, in the next 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes of your practice, you can increase these counts. You can increase these counts in the last 5 minutes of your practice as 5 counts of or 6 counts of inhalation and 12 counts of exhalation. Hello, namaste, whoever is joining in right now. I see Koel. Hello, Koel, namaste, and welcome to the live session. We are discussing Anuloma-Viloma Pranayama. If you have any questions, please feel free to type in the chat. So I just talked about that if you are practicing for 10 minutes, then you can first 5 minutes, you can practice for 4 counts of inhale and 8 counts of exhale. Then in the last 5 minutes of your practice, you can increase the counts to 6 counts of inhalations and 12 counts of exhalation. Okay, please make sure that you are not incorporating kumbhaka or retention of the breath when you are just starting out. Okay, so having said that, you might ask like how many repetitions. So it depends on how fast you do, but as I said, if your counts are like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like this. You can continue in this space for 10 minutes, however many repetitions you can fit in that 10 minutes. Is that okay? And the next natural question comes, what is a right time to do the pranayama? See, pranayama is about making our body fit for the subtler aspects, subtler limbs of the yoga, Ashtanga yoga, which are pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So when those subtler effects, we want to gain that subtler effect, so we breathing comes before that, and after we have practiced asana, after we have practiced asana. So in general, I would say the sandhikshans of the day and the night are a good time. The sandhikshans means the junction period of the night and the day, which is the Brahma Muhurta, and the day and the night, which is the dusk, the Godhuli, right? The dusk. So these are good times, but to be honest, it can be practiced on other times of the day as well. Just that you might have to put some extra effort to have your body mind um, cooperate with you, because you might be a little more rajasic or tamasic during the other times of the day, depending on when we are talking about. I would say that if you are practicing it, the pranayama, in whatever time of the day, the best thing is to practice it in a relatively empty stomach. What do I mean by relatively empty stomach? It's about, I would say, anywhere from like about 4 hours after your big meals, like your lunch and dinner, or a heavy meal, your breakfast. If you are having a heavy breakfast, which by the way, holistically speaking, should not be the case, but anyway, if it happens to be the case, then at least 4 hours gap. If you have an light meal, like a breakfast, light breakfast or something like that, then there should be a 2.5 hours gap. If you are having like some drinks, like some beverage or something, 1 hour gap, 1 to 1.5 hours gap. Water is okay, water is okay. So the idea is to have this practice in a relatively empty stomach. Is that okay? So does anybody have any questions so far regarding whatever I discussed? We discussed about the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra philosophy on pranayama, the sutras, second chapter, Sadhana Pada, Sutra number 49 to 53. Then we are talking about one particular pranayama that we can practice safely at any point of our yoga journey, which is Anuloma-Viloma or alternate nostril breathing. Now, I want to, before we go and practice this pranayama a little bit, I would like to mention about the science behind it. What is happening actually? See, just like any car has two systems. One is the acceleration system and one is the brake system or the deceleration system. One allows the car to move faster, one allows the car to slow down the brake. Similarly, in our body, when we want to be in the acceleration state, means we have to kick in our sympathetic nervous system. So our autonomic nervous system has two components in it, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic nervous system is the brake system of the car. When we want to slow down, we want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system so we can rest and relax properly. Now, the Anuloma-Viloma Pranayama or the alternate nostril breathing pranayama, it allows us to balance the two aspects of our energy bodies. One is the masculine energy, which is the passion, aggression, acceleration energy system, and the other is more rest and repose part, the feminine energy system, right? So we want to strike a balance between these two, because as you know, if the car is only going in acceleration mode, what will happen if there is no brake in the car? You don't want to even imagine. And suppose the car has no acceleration, it just has a brake. Will it move? No. So when we ride a car, a perfect car ride is when it has the right proportion of the acceleration and the deceleration or the brake. That's when we continue moving towards our destination. Similarly, in our body's energy system, if we strike a balance between our masculine energy, means the go get going energy, go get it energy, like let's go get it, let's do it, that energy, masculine energy, and the feminine energy, which is relax, rest. When we can strike a balance between the two, that's when the car, that is our human system, will move toward the direction we want to move it toward. That's when it will go smoothly, right? So this is a pranayama which actually allows us to strike this balance. Because why so? How so? When we are inhaling through the left nostril, say, we are igniting our ida nadi. Ida Nadi. As you know, in yogic sciences, we have 72,000 or more nadis, means energy pathways. There are three main energy pathways that go along the spine, crisscrossing. One is along the spine, the sushumna. The sushumna, mentioning is that we were talking about the uh, in breath, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, and how this pranayama can work as how this pranayama can work. Let me end poll. Okay, how this pranayama can act as a balancer between the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. For example, when we were talking about a car, the car can move either very fast without the brake, that means it will crash into an accident. And if the car has no brake at all, then also it will be falling into an, like it will not even move. So it doesn't work either way. So to strike a perfect balance between the two is what we need. Similarly, for this particular practice, we will strike a balance between our sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So, having said that, I would use the rest of the time of our session, the next few minutes or so, by actually practicing it. So, I will guide you through this practice a few rounds, then we will conclude by some concluding remarks. Okay. So, first, you get seated in your posture. Either, so right now, for example, I am sitting on the chair, but my feet are planted flat on the ground and my knees are 90 degrees. If you are sitting on the floor, I already mentioned how to sit. And then you can place the non-active arm like facing up on your upper thighs, facing the ceiling. And you can use your active hand. In my case, it's my right hand. I am choosing the mudra, right? I'm choosing this mudra where the two peace fingers are on the center of my eyebrows in this marma here, Agnya chakra. And I am using my thumb and my ring finger to maneuver my nostrils. So first, please close your right nostril. Please close your right nostril with the thumb and make sure that you have these other two fingers ready to maneuver this nostril, okay, the left nostril. So leave your left nostril open. Sit with a comfortably vertical spine. Exhale out the air from the left. Then we are starting the inhalation through the left. Now I want to mention the other hand, the free hand, you can use a yoga mudra, touching the index finger, tip of the index with the tip of the thumb, and you can use a yoga mudra, okay, like this, the free hand. The other hand, of course, is at work, right? So I am exhaling out the air through the left nostril. Now we begin. Inhale through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left nostril. Open the right. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 8 counts, remember? Inhale through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left, exhale through the left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left, open the right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left, exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So inhaling through the left, close the left, open the right. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, exhale through the left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this one cycle, one round is inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left. So starting from inhale through the left and finishing with exhale through the left. This is one round. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right, inhale through the right, exhale through the left. So we start with inhaling through the left and finish at exhaling through the left. That is one cycle. In, out, in, out. This is one cycle. And you can do it as many cycles as they are available to you in one sitting. Like I said, you are doing it for say 10 minutes or so. 10 minutes or so. So then the first 5 minutes you can continue with 4 and 8 counts of inhalation and exhalation respectively. The last 5 minutes you can increase the counts to 6 and 12. So let's practice. We will not practice for 10 or 12 minutes of course here, but let's practice at least for a few minutes. Okay, at least for a few minutes of this Anuloma-Viloma Pranayama. So choose your mudra. I demonstrated through this mudra, so I am choosing this mudra again. So we will do maybe 2-3 rounds of practice, 2-3 rounds of practice in silence, and you can practice it with me. And if you have any question as you are practicing, you can type in the chat in the comments if you have any questions. Okay. And you know, I always love to add mantras with these breathing practices because mantras are a great tool to keep your mind busy. So what happens as you are inhaling, you can think of the sound. So as you are exhaling, you can think of the sound hum. Again, as you are inhaling, so as you are exhaling, hum. So making sure your mind is really fixed on its concentration. So soham is a combination of two words in Sanskrit, saha, aham, he or that, aham is I am that. So throughout the whole inhalation you can think of the sound so. Pause. As you exhale the 8 counts hum or 12 counts hum. So hum. You can add this mantra masala to your practice. With that, let's practice maybe 2-3 minutes at your own pace. Inhaling through the left, 4 counts, close. Open the right, exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, exhale through the left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the left, open the right. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close the right, open the left. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Couple of rounds at our own pace. And completing your cycle wherever you are at. Gently release. Rub your palms together. You're coming out of this pranayama practice. Closing your eyes, cupping your eyes, just hovering your palms, warm palms over your eyes. Feel the heat. 2 more times. We are wrapping up the practice by this Reiki hands. One more time. And gently tap your face and you come out. So that was our session on pranayama. We will formally close this session by Vedic chanting from the Upanishads, Vedic Shanti mantra, and then we will have a few concluding remarks. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Om. That was a Shanti mantra from the Vedas, the Upanishads. Purnamadav Purnamidam, one of my favorites. With that, we will draw a close of this session. And this was a session on pranayama, and we practiced with detailed discussion the Anuloma-Viloma Pranayama, its benefits, its techniques, its options, how to sit, how to hold our mudra, all of that. If you are just joining in or if you are missing it, don't worry. I will be posting a recording of this session in my channel. Please take a look, and you can share generously to whoever you think might benefit from this session. And by the way, if you are watching this and if you have gained some insights from this session, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you get notified about each and every video I publish and every live stream I start to connect with you directly like this. And also, if you have any suggestions, feedback, or any questions regarding any of the practices I am sharing or any of the videos I am uploading, please write me in the comment section. By the way, guys, currently we are in a 108-day series of Surya Namaskara or Sun Salutations practice. Those of you who are following me, following my channel, you know that we are on the 61st day. I am yet to upload that video. 60 days of sun salutations practice with mantra yoga and with Yogasutras of Patanjali chanting and the 8 limbs of yoga discussion. All are happening as part of the yoga philosophy part of that challenge. Please take a look. There is a whole playlist. I will post the playlist somewhere in the iCard or in the description or in a pinned comment about this 108 days of Yogasana challenge that is going on. Today, I will be posting. Today, I completed the 61st day of that practice, and 60 days of practice videos are already uploaded in that playlist. Please take a look. You will learn probably a lot. There is a lot of discussions, a lot of mantras, chantings going on there. Having said that, thank you so much for joining me for this last 1 hour and the 10 minutes. Extremely sorry for that technical glitch that happened for a few minutes in the middle. And I am so grateful for all your love and support that you are providing throughout my journey so far. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in the next live session or in another session soon. Take care. Have a wonderful night or morning wherever you are in our globe. Thank you. Hari Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.